Alright, welcome back to TEW 2020, the new era, the brand split from day one, whatever it is. I'm thinking of changing the era name. Like, I never officially did any segments where it's like, this is the new era, so I could technically change the name. So, if you guys have any ideas for new era names that will fit this series much more, that aren't named the new era or have the word new in it, please tell me. I have one in mind. I've been thinking of calling it the intensity era because I've noticed my style of booking, there is a decent amount of like brawls and, you know, people getting injured and shoot and fake injuries and just a lot of like, I use the car crash note a lot, so intensity era might fit. If you guys have a better one or want to like expand, or if you don't have any ideas, it's fine. I don't know what I'm rambling on about because tonight is the the quarter finals of the Cruiserweight Classic. 4 matches in one night, all of them guaranteed to be great. I'm going to run down the card once I remember all the matches. That is now. Alright, so I think I don't know if this is the order, but I do know them all. I believe we're opening with Matt Riddle versus Zack Saber Jr. Then we will have Evan Bourne versus Ricochet. The main event is... oh, no, wait. Not the main event. There's 4 matches. My dumbass. Bollywood, Amaan, Samir is taking on the Hangman, Adam Page. And then... in our main event is Kota Ibushi versus Frankie Kazarian. Both indie darlings from across the sea. Frankie Kazarian's really a huge indie darling in the United States and Canada. And Kota Ibushi, at this point in time, I don't believe he's been to New Japan yet. Or if he has, it was very brief. But yeah, he's been also an indie darling over in the Rising Sun. The land of the Rising Sun, I'm sorry. And I have no angles because I didn't have any fucking time for them. In fact, I had to cut a minute from the opening match because I ran too long. So, without further ado, let's get into Night 8 of the Cruiserweight Classic. Like I said, we're opening with Matt Riddle versus Zack Sabre Jr. I believe I got the order wrong. I think Amaan versus Adam is next, and then is the match I said that I'm forgetting because I fucking moved my notes. Before I talk about this match, one thing I forgot to say is we need to talk about the Where Are They Now, the round 2 exits. What are my plans for them? Or I guess what are my very broad plans to not do any spoilers. Basically whether or not I'm going to put him on the main roster or not. So Rey Fenix, he's going to go on the main roster. I might as well say this now. Pentagon, he's also going to the main roster. They're going to be a team on either Raw or SmackDown. That's just the best use for them. I don't have a lot of teams, and neither of them are quite over yet, so neither of them should have that solo run. Alex Kozlov will be going down to developmental. He's almost ready for the main roster. I feel I could have his stats a little better. He won't be going to NXT, though. He'll probably be going to Evolve. Evolve is now accepting my developmental workers, so he's going there. Johnny Gargano will be returning to NXT. He's most certainly ready to be called up to the main roster, but I haven't heard him complaining, and I kind of need some really good guys on NXT, so when the bad wrestlers wrestle the good guys, they'll get better. So him, Tommaso Ciampa, are going to be filling that role. There's a few other guys there to do that. And also Nikki Storm at the moment is really doing that for the women. Her and Asuka. I'd like to eventually bring those two and DIY up to the main roster. And then replace them with 2 other really good workers. So, yeah, Alex Kozlov is going to be doing that. He's going to Evolve probably. Andrade Cien Almas will be called up to the main roster. He isn't quite over yet, but I really don't feel like there's any use putting him in developmental. And really, that's the same with Rocky Romero and TJ Perkins. I feel that they are good enough to come up to the main roster. Maybe Rocky Romero, not so much as Andrade and TJ, but I do have an idea for Rocky Romero. So, watch out for that. And the final man is the Brian Kendrick, and I considered sending Brian Kendrick down to NXT to also fill that role of helping the younger guys get better. But I went against it because I want to keep that NXT roster small so everybody can work once a week. I run 5 shows a week on NXT, so adding Brian Kendrick would only make it harder for some other guys to get work. So now on to the actual show. Zack Saber Jr. beats Matt Riddle in 11:49. This is a complete New Japan style match. Just a I didn't set it to technical masterclass, but it is a very technical match because Zack Saber Jr. is really good at that, and Matt Riddle is also really good at that. And by pinfall, alright, I forgot to hit submission. This was not by pinfall. Zack Saber Jr. taps him out. Fuck the pinfall. Zack Saber Jr. does not win by pinfall. And in fact, before I go into the next match, there's going to be a cut to the next match because I'm going to make sure I have all the finishes correct. The next match is Adam Page versus Amaan Samir. It goes 15 minutes. Amaan Samir, near the end of the match, once again, almost cheats. He almost cheats to win and piss off the whole crowd, make everybody hate the finish of this match. But it's gone long enough. It backfires. He misses his weapon shot. Hangman Adam Page quickly jumps over the rope, jumps back in for the buckshot lariat. Turn the page, no. Buckshot lariat. Amaan Samir, finally, him and his shenanigans have ended at the hands of the Hangman. Evan Bourne and Ricochet. The whole story of the Evan Bourne and Brian Kendrick match was that both men feel like they might not have another shot in the WWE. They need one last hurrah, and that hurrah is winning the Cruiserweight Classic. But despite that, Evan Bourne gives his all, but he is no match for the King. He's not King Ricochet, he's just Ricochet. And what are these fucking finish? Like, I swear to God, the mod maker just put any fucking time a move finished a match, and that's a finisher. Like, what diving double knee drop? Really? No, he hits the 630, Evan Bourne falls to Ricochet. And in our main event, Kota, Ibushi, and Frankie Kazarian. This match was probably going to be 65. That's pretty good. I don't have all the matches ranked in the Cruiserweight Classic, but this has got to be one of the best ones. I don't believe we've had a dark green match yet. And Kota Ibushi hits the Phoenix Splash after the powerbomb, picks up the win with Frankie Kazarian. As you could tell, Cruiserweight Classic videos are going to be some of the shorter ones simply because there's not a lot of ground to cover. And that is it. We have our semifinals set. And that's it for this night. The semifinal matches are set. Zack Sabre Jr. will be taking on Kota Ibushi in the semifinals. Everybody thought that those two would be in the finals, but they couldn't because they were on the same side of the bracket this whole time. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kota Ibushi, and Hangman Adam Page versus Ricochet. 65 overall show rating. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at these. This match did really poor for some reason. I didn't have any interference or distraction. I thought this match would do much better, but it didn't. And yeah, that's it for this episode. Again, anybody that's got any suggestions for renaming this era, tell me. I might use it for Season 2, which is just post-WrestleMania. I'm not going to go in and change all the thumbnails for this season because it'd take too long. So, yeah, I hope to see you guys for next night 9 of the Cruiserweight Classic.